Hope you're feeling amazing wherever the fuck you're watching this from. I want to talk about something really important today, something that I don't think is discussed very much, and something that comes to my mind somewhat frequently. And it's something I've experienced with very much in my life. What this is the understanding, the difference between being content with your life, content with your state of being and where you're at in your life, and expressive, being expressive of what's really inside of you, what's really yearning to be expressed from the inside. Okay? What am I talking about? Well, what I'm talking about is, as humans, we're always seeking safety. We're always attempting to get away from negativity, from danger. We want to feel safe. That's our natural inclination. Who doesn't want to feel safe, right? Who doesn't want to, or who we want to survive, obviously, right? We think of danger as something that's going to hurt us and kill us, ultimately, right? Now we live in very comfortable times in the first world countries, and our sense of danger doesn't typically come from things that are trying to kill us most often. It's typically just things that scare us, right? They scare us because of a change, because of the tribe mentality, what others will think of us, what we'll think of ourselves, maybe the slightest inclination of something actually being able to harm us physically. But most of the time, it's psychological harm. It is being afraid of what others will think in some way, shape, or form. So why am I saying that? I'm talking about that because this scarcity, this being scared of the unknown, will keep us in a state of where we're content or we're okay with where things are at in our life, but we are far from expressive. We are far from expressive of those things that are inside of us that the world needs to hear and see. You see, we become so comfortable and caught up in simple ways of not being more, really being less, playing small. We get caught up in these ways because, it's easy more than anything. Everybody else does it. And it's most of the time you can have your basic drivers and still be okay, right? You can have your basic drivers of human life and still be okay. Those being food, water, shelter, those kind of things, right? And then you have your basic pleasures, your entertainment, your sexual activity, maybe to some degree, your simple forms of entertainment such as that'll help keep you sane in a way. Ultimately they help you numb the fact that you're not expressing your greatness to the world. Maybe you are in very small ways, but not as many as you could be or want to be, ultimately. Now, as I said, in my process, in my life, I experienced this very much. From a child, I didn't have a terrible childhood. I mean, I had my own difficulties, just as we all do. My parents weren't perfect, but they tried and they did their best with what they knew how to do. And so I was content, right? I was comfortable much of the time. There was plenty of times I was in discomfort due to issues with them, whatever they had going on in their marriage. Plenty of fighting and that kind of thing. But for the most part, I was content and comfortable in what I was doing, whether I was playing a lot of video games, right? I had a lot of video games, a lot of time playing video games. So I was content, I was comfortable, I was sitting there kind of, I was there, right? I wasn't sitting in a pit of misery, right? At least not until middle school and all that time, whatever. My point is that though I was comfortable in many ways, I wasn't expressive at all. Like, this comfortability that I had, this contentness that I had, kept me from going out and doing anything that was really actually fun or that my inner self wanted to experience. Right? Many times I could have been out. As I got into video games, I stopped going outside and playing around outside as much, right? So I didn't have that sense of nature. I didn't develop as many ways as I could have in nature because I was content inside. And as far as my parents' relationship goes, I was sitting inside playing a video game. My dad would want to go do something out in nature, go camping, go kayaking, these kind of things. And because of my comfort sitting inside, and because of me and my father's relationship not being smooth, so to say, being discomforting, I would stay inside and not go out and play. Right? There's a lot of different factors there. But the main thing of what I'm saying is that, like, then I go to school and I wouldn't know how to express myself. I wouldn't know how to express myself in these little ways that really, they make a difference in how you see the world. Like, it's all about how you see yourself in the world, how you see yourself fitting into the world. And I didn't know where I fit in at all. Now, that's not to say that I didn't have friends, because I could, make friends, but like, I was unable to express myself in many ways. So the big point here is, and as I grew up, this was still a situation. I would be content. I got into middle school. I still played a lot of video games, and I was unable to express myself in true ways. I didn't know who I was whatsoever. I was just there, right? Got into sports, and when I got into sports, that kind of broke things up a little bit, so to say. I was in more discomfort. I wasn't as content, so to say. I was going into new things, doing new things, and experiencing new situations. And in that, I learned how to express myself more so. I was able to communicate better. I had more friends. I began having more fun in life in general. But I slipped back into my old patterns not too long after. After I quit sports, fell into a pit, and became very comfortable in different situations that weren't good for me. So again, I became content in a way. And my self-expression, dropped back down once again. Slowly but surely. So the entire point here is that when we're comfortable, when we're too comfortable, when we are too content with where we're at in life, and we don't choose to stride out in any different direction, we don't choose to learn how to express ourselves in any new way. And life is all about learning. Life is learning. Life is about growing and developing in ways that you haven't done already. So when we have tunnel vision for staying comfortable and content, we don't see this greater sense of possible expression that lays outside of our comfort zone. We don't see it. All we see is the pain and suffering of getting out of our comfort zone. And that's not a good feeling. It's not very motivating. I mean, there's many different things that we can experience out there. And when we're only thinking about lack, we're coming from a place of lack that we don't understand how much greater it can be, truthfully. It does not make for a very fulfilling life. It doesn't make for a very fulfilling sense of self that you're able to push out into the world and give the world your all. Give the world what you have to express. Help people in ways that you can. You see, because we all have our own, we all have something that we can teach somebody, and we can all learn from somebody else. Nobody here is perfect. Nobody here knows everything. Everybody has their own unique set of experiences and circumstances in their life that have led them to where they're at. And not everybody has learned and went through everything at all. There's no way to do that. So we can all learn from one another. But we have to be willing to break out of that box that holds us in contentness and comfortability. And be someone who chooses expression over contentness. Be someone who chooses expression and greatness and life, a life of fulfillment. A life of your choosing over being comfortable, being safe. We have to be willing to make those decisions that lead us to the right circumstances that will allow us to express ourselves. We must be willing to face the unknown, face the fear, and push into it. And you're the only one who can do it for you. It wouldn't make sense if someone else could do it for you, right? And it doesn't have to be all at once. Now, taking massive action will get you there quicker, but, it's up to you to make that difference. If you want to create new habits, you're best off starting slow. Anyways, I digress. Guys, it's going to be an amazing week. It's Monday morning here, 8 o'clock. We're going to goddamn get to it. It's going to be an amazing day. I love you guys. Go do your thing, man. Crush your dreams. Crush your day. If you got to work your normal job and go home and work on whatever it is you need to do for you, do it, man. I promise you, nothing else is more worthwhile than working on yourself. I love you guys. Let's go.